Hi, this is second part of Suzuki Vitara review after 3 years of use. This one covers various aspects of inside of the car, usability of cabin features, quality and biggest issues. If you want to listen about externals, you will find part 1 of the review in my channel and in the link above. In this video, I will talk about cabin build quality, seating comfort, multimedia system, air conditioning and other small gadgets. All from perspective of daily use. Build quality. Let's start from the doors. Inside of the doors is covered with plastic. The area of the door handle is very prone to scratches. Despite gentle handling, a few scratches appeared apparently from fingernails. Rest of the plastic is more durable, but also catch few minor scratches. The steering wheel leather cover is flawless. There are no signs of use. The silver paint on the steering wheel, on the other hand, is a joke. Recently I rubbed it with my thumb because I wanted to wipe off some dirt. It turned out that the dirt came off with the paint. It's best not to rub and touch it, maybe then it will stay okay. The dark plastic on the front of the car, under the front glass, have not been damaged in any way. Same with the rest of harder plastics. The grey plastic on the passenger side seems very susceptible to damage. Only once I touch it with some load and of course there is a trace. Nothing more happened, only because I rarely have a passenger in the front seat. On the pros side, fitting of plastics seems to be good as I don't hear any noise during driving, even on bumpy terrain. The piano black around the radio of course has a lot of micro scratches, caused only by wiping it clean. Fortunately, it's not very noticeable. The original rags seems to be in a pretty good conditions after 3 years of use and soaking in mud. Still, they will probably survive couple more years. The convenience of sitting. The seat is fully functional and there are no visible signs of use. The heating mat normally works fast and correctly, but unfortunately my one broke down after 2 years and I had to replace it under the warranty. Now let's talk about ergonomics. The backrest position is quite comfortable. Adjusting the steering wheel to the driver is also okay. With my height of 182 cm, around 6 feet, and a rather thin build, the seat is comfortable. However, I have a serious problem with ergonomics when it comes to the position of the legs. The right leg that operates a throttle does not have a comfortable side rest. But what is worse, it's constantly hanging over the seat and the foot is bent in an uncomfortable high position. As if the car was designed more in line with the ergonomics of people with lower height and shorter legs, where angle of the legs would be different. The gas pedal is too high. Keeping my foot on the gas for a longer period causes pain in my entire leg. It's very unergonomic. The only thing that saves from leg pain is the ability to turn on cruise control on longer trips. Otherwise, driving longer than an hour would cause my leg fatigue and discomfort. Positioning the seat in the highest position does not solve the problem. It helped a little when I put an extra pillow. It certainly does not have a positive effect on someone who spent long hours behind the wheel. Higher you are and longer legs you have, more you will experience this discomfort. Multimedia system. I have on board a default Bosch multimedia system with a touch screen. I'm not sure if this is the standard in all countries. Let's start from radio functionality. With radio itself, I have no issues and it's working okay. But there is one very annoying feature. The radio turns on automatically each time you turn car on. Even if we turn off the radio directly before removing the key. I'm not a fan of listening to the radio and it makes me irritated about having to turn it off every time. I haven't found any simple method to change this behavior. You can switch the radio to a range where there is radio silent. For me it's quite annoying. Strangely, this problem appears when you switch car off for a couple of hours. Seems some memorized last setting is gone. When you switch off and on, key in ignition, the problem is not existing. Bluetooth. Bluetooth connection with the phone is mostly working. I have no major complaints about it. Listening and controlling of the music, YouTube, Spotify and making calls works. But sometimes this system has some hiccups, like when I was recording this video. He refused to connect to the phone and throws me strange message about lack of card in the reader. This is very rare and fixed by itself after restarting the car. The built-in voice selection of telephone numbers works okay, but I don't use it often.
Please say a command.
Call.
Is that right?
Yes.
Calling. On mobile.
Android Auto. I mainly use Android Auto, and there are various problems to complain. It worked best in the first 2 years of using the car. Problem arose when I started using Nokia with Android 11 and later 12. Especially with Android 12, Google Maps hangs in a random moments from time to time, without any warning. For example, while driving, the image is displayed but is frozen, and as a result, it's easy to avoid the motorway exit. Google Assistant, which was initially very useful for making calls and voice navigation control, started to work very randomly and slower. In example, he can answer the first question and then hang up and stop working. The biggest problem is the very high sensitivity of the system to accidental touching of the cable connected to the phone. After such instance, phone tends to disconnect and often cannot reconnect to Android Auto again. Android Auto becomes blocked in some undefined state. The only solution to this problem is to stop the car and turn off the ignition for 30 seconds. After such operation, the phone will reconnect. As an additional measure to prevent disconnects, I place the phone in a way so the cable will not be accidentally touched while driving. When I have done manual tests this time, I haven't noticed this problem. Seems I have it only while driving. Because of mentioned problems, I have paid for Multimedia system update and it was uploaded by the authorized service center, but the same problem still persists. Another inconvenience of the Multimedia station is the lack of multi-touch screen. This is not a very big problem, but zooming the map with 2 fingers is almost a reflex for anyone who uses Google Maps on smartphone. Without multi-touch, it's clumsier. On the pluses of the Multimedia system, Android Auto integration generally works fine with many applications. For example, you can use audiobook applications, Spotify, and use alternative navigation applications. Besides these Google Maps hangs, the rest of the application works fine, up to their functionality limits. Quality of sound is fine for my needs. Finally, I have no complaints about controlling the car's functions from the steering wheel. Everything works smoothly and without problems. Screen size is fine, but could be bigger. Generally, multimedia system is mostly useful. It has couple of minor drawbacks, but you can work around them. It's not very fast, but fast enough. Air conditioning. The automatic air conditioning works properly and sets rather correct temperature. Personally, I don't like the fact that it slows down when warming up the last few degrees, but it's more a matter of personal preference. As for the ability to remove moisture, I have mixed feelings. It happens to me in the rain, even when I was driving alone. Air conditioning does not fully defog windows. I'm afraid it could be very muggy with 4 passengers. However, I have not done such tests, so I cannot say for sure. Under average conditions, in winter or summer, I have no major concerns about cooling and heating. The performance seems sufficient. Another small drawback after 3 years, sound of mechanism swapping source of air is hearable. I don't recall if this was like that from the beginning. Nothing very bothering, just some noticeable kind of squeaking. Like there is lack of grease in mechanism. After 3 years I didn't have to make any AC maintenance besides normal cleaning and filter change. Various gadgets. External thermometer. This is minor functionality but useful. Unfortunately, the operation of external thermometer is bad. It tends in some conditions to show wrong temperature outside even after 30 minutes after starting the car. It seems that the location of the thermometer didn't allow for the correct measurement of the temperature without driving couple of minutes with flow of air, higher speed. Tire pressure measuring system. I have no major comments here. System is working. In winter, when the air temperature drops, it shows me 2-liter tire pressure, which seems to be the correct behavior and helps to take care of the tires properly. Other dashboard gadgets. All systems available in the dashboard like measuring of fuel used, etc. seems to work fine. However, I'm not sure how average fuel consumption measuring works. How long distance or time he's taking into consideration in calculations. It's a pity it's not explained in instruction, which is by the way, average quality itself. I would love to see in a dashboard some info about how strongly is engaged 4-wheel drive. It would be more useful than seeing, in example, graphically G-forces. My overall subjective rating for this part of review is good. I found some flaws in almost every aspect I have checked, that is why mark cannot be very good. From the other side, the issues are not very critical and impactful. That is why I would still rate inside of the car as good. In the next part of review, I will shortly share my experience about mechanics quality of the car and service costs. Thanks for watching and see you.